Hello there, thanks a lot for coming by. PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard, and my goodness. You know, on first glance, this just looks like an innocent UK concert poster by a couple of, American top 5 hitmakers in the spring of 1963. But on closer inspection, it's no less than the world's very first Beatles concert poster to ever carry their image, a photograph of the Fab Four. Wow. And you know something? As if that were not enough, this concert took place the night before their first album, Please Please Me, was released on March 22 of 1963, which of course went straight to #1 and changed the world forever. So, boy, this is just an earth-shakingly cool and important concert poster in the worlds of both concert poster collecting from the 60s and, of course, the broader umbrella of Beatles memorabilia in general. And you know something? I'll be coming in for close-ups soon. The poster also happens to list their first 2 Parlophone singles. Another grand slam home run in the area of concert poster collecting. Oh my goodness. You know, this really was the last moment before the Beatles took England by complete storm. So, I gotta take a deep breath before proceeding and going into this. Wow. Well, it's quite evident there at the top. You've got the Chris Montez Tommy Roe tour, 3 weeks, all within the month of March 1963. And across the top there, the top billed artist, I shouldn't say quite the top of the poster, but there he is, America's exciting Chris Montez, with a floating head there, just like in fact all 6 musicians are on this poster. And Chris had the top 5 hit the previous fall, Let's Dance. It was top 5 on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean actually, and in fact here's a few seconds of it. And under his name, the poster lists the song Some Kind of Fun also. That was his follow-up hit in the UK, went into the top 10, but it was a flop in America. And then co-billed with Chris is America's fabulous Tommy Roe, also carrying a nice picture of him, and Tommy also had a top 5 hit on both sides of the Atlantic. Now, neither artist was a one-hit wonder. Chris Montez had mild hits with Call Me and The More I See You, and funny enough, his Let's Dance landmark song re-entered the British top 10 in the early 1970s upon re-release. So that's staying power for that record. Tommy Roe, interestingly, had sort of different top 10 hits on either side of the Atlantic Ocean, but one song that was definitely consistent between the 2 countries was his smash Dizzy, which was #1 actually on both the American and UK charts in 1969. So, you can be sure the Beatles, they had a lot of fun with these 2 American hitmakers due to the fact that, the Beatles, had brand new status as also being a top 10 hitmaker themselves. You can imagine how great that feels for any recording artist. And here's a fun picture of the 6 of them posing together. There you've got them, left to right, John and Ringo, Chris and Tommy, and George and Paul. And then you've got 3 opening act musicians there, the Terry Young 6, glamorous Debbie Lee on Parlophone Records, no surprise, and the Viscounts on Pie Records, but all 3 acts never charted anything, although a member of the Viscounts did go on to write It's Not Unusual for Tom Jones. Also on the poster, there was always an MC or a compere, and sure enough, this one has Tony Marsh, disc jockey, found at 208 on the radio dial. And then, of course, below that, you've got our beloved Fab Four. And just before the Beatles toured with Montez and Rowe, they toured with Helen Shapiro in February, and here's a blown-up graphic from that tour. This is a blown-up handbill. It's actually larger than what the handbill is. Don't know if they made big posters of this, but anyway, notice how the Beatles are represented with just one song title, Love Me Do, and aren't quite good enough yet to get their picture on there. So that's how fast their fame was escalating at this point. Boy, you know, with just a few days later, they were on the posters with Montez and Rowe with the white hot Please Please Me and their pictures. But this is a step back that was fun to look at. So, this concludes part 1 of this video blog. You know, it's such an important poster, I decided to spread it out over 2 parts rather than rush through it too much. So please be sure to click on part 2 to continue, you know, the fun tutorial here. And I'll go into like the songs the Beatles performed and everything. Obviously the information at the top because this was a tour blank poster. And I'm going to show you a couple of different handbills they used to market this tour as well. So see you in part 2, hopefully in just a minute.